and Invoker and Furion. I mean, just insane. But Furion will be picked up here. So things are all right in the world,
Yep.
and having Furion and Darkseer on the same team is pretty insane. I mean, that's an incredible amount of basically turtling power, because having that split push and having that defensive mechanisms from the Darkseer, I mean, they can turn it into push as well, so we'll have to see. But at this point, I would guess maybe they'd be more willing to kind of play a farming game with those two heroes.
And that's the thing too. Like with all these new heroes, like Phantom Assassin, Chaos Knight, and different miscellaneous like meta heroes coming in and out of the meta at the time, we see more and more heroes making it through, like the Dark Seers, the Invokers, and the pickup of Dark Seer on Potm bottom was very very nice because doing that forces HelloMoto to therefore say, okay, well we're not giving you the Enigma like you said, and therefore is forced to really pick the Enigma as their first pick and then go with Leshreq after that rather than going Furion Leshreq or Nature's Prophet Leshreq. And now a Invoker picked up here by Potm Bottom.
Yeah, and that's a very good point actually, taking the Darkseer like that over the Furion. I mean, but still, I guess the opposing team could have taken the Enigma into Furion,
Mm-hmm.
so it would still kind of work. But I mean, they worked out for both teams. Actually, both teams have some extremely strong heroes, and yeah, this is with these new heroes in, and Rubik actually isn't even in CM yet, so it'll be even more
Oh, it's gonna be
interesting
so
once he
fun.
makes it in. Yeah. He's pretty, I would say he's probably overpowered in Dota 2. I mean, he's
Yeah.
significantly different than he was in Dota 1. Dota 1, he was kind of a
Mm-hmm.
niche, I never know how to pronounce that word, but pick, kind of only used by Southeast Asian teams. But in Dota 2, with basically being able to steal every single spell with his ultimate and just being easier to use them, yeah, it's definitely pretty imbalanced.
I was playing with my team yesterday and we were doing a couple of scrims and everything, just messing around. And I ended up stealing the Enigma ultimate, and we had a Tidehunter on our team. So the Enigma four-man black hole is our team. I'm the only one outside of it. I steal the black hole, and then I five-man black hole them, and we get a an ultra kill, and then end up pushing in and winning. But then
Uh,
like I steal like Morphling Wave, and it's such a fun hero to play. I'm gonna be streaming a lot of him later on tonight.
Yeah, it's definitely an amazing hero. I don't know. I mean, I played him a couple days ago, and I assume this was a bug because I never actually played him in Dota 1, just watched him. But that his cast times on the spells were instant
Hmm.
on things like the Leshrac stun and the Furion TP, which aren't channeling spells but have
Yeah.
cast times, and they weren't cast timing. I assume that's a bug.
Yeah, I believe they're patching that, or if they already have patched that with like a soft patch. But there's things like you in Dota 1 you couldn't steal, for instance, like a Lycan ult, but now you
Yeah.
can, and you can actually turn into the wolf and everything, and it's pretty nuts. Like you steal everything in the game pretty much now. Whereas yesterday I stole Shadow Shaman wards and ended up pushing in.
Yeah, that's definitely something. Okay, well, back into this game. Bottom banning out a couple supports. They took out the Lich and the Shadow Demon, forcing HelloMoto to take the CM, which I guess maybe they're slightly less happy about. Obviously, having the Lich ult with Enigma is certainly really nice. Meanwhile, Bottom took that Vengeful Spirit, wanted to have something to guaranteed disable the Enigma ult even as the game progresses, which, as we saw in the previous game, can be extremely important. So, yeah, the Vengeful Spirit pickup makes sense since you don't really have a place to put Beastmaster unless you're going old school jungling Beastmaster, which probably wasn't very likely. And then HelloMoto kind of understanding that Bottom wants to play a long game, taking out that Lone Druid, which really can make that a possibility.
Hmm. And very very base team here. Like we have a very very nice team with Leshreq, Windrunner, Crystal Maiden, and Enigma. I could definitely see something like a Night Stalker picked up by HelloMoto or something like that to give them some added gank potential, or I don't know, maybe the Morphling that we talked about earlier. And on the other team we have the Dark Sphere, or the Dark Seer, the Nature's Prophet, Invoker, and Vengeful Spirit, which is going to set up a lot for Sunstrike kills if we see that exhort. And now we see the Tidehunter come in for added team fight.
Yeah, I think the Morphling makes perfect sense, actually. I mean, the Night Stalker is good, too. They're definitely looking for a hero that can kind of run in front, basically, and kind of start the team fights, which is basically something they're lacking. None of their heroes can actually really do that at this point. Leshrac can't be the first one and he dies too quickly, and Enigma needs to counter-initiate to try to get a good black hole off. And actually, they're going to take the Storm, so that makes sense. Storm, another hero that can basically jump in first. Even though he's not quite as survivable as something like a Morphling or a Night Stalker, his ability to jump around makes him equally survivable.
Hmm.
And there really aren't a lot of reliable stuns or disables on the Radiant team, so he's going to have a pretty easy time here. I mean, if he can just avoid just a couple things like the Vengeful Spirit stun and Cold Snap.
Yeah, I mean, with the Darkseer Furion combo, that alone there is very deadly. We have the vacuum into the Sprout, and it's just like, it could get very nasty very quick.
Yeah, especially when you have Invoker on top of it with all his crazy AoE damage. But anyway, I want to take a run over the teams.
Yep, on the Radiant team, Potm Bottom, Aoi 2000 going to be playing that Invoker. Kabop from MTW standing in at the moment, going to be playing the Vengeful Spirit. Kizzle's back on that Furion. We saw him play a lot earlier. He was very, very impressive. And Sneaking is going to be taking the solo Suicide lane as the Darkseer. Tornado Blazing Strike is going to be playing the Tidehunter. Go ahead and take it away with the Dire team.
Meanwhile, on Storm is Kojovra, Nabaz playing Windrunner, Savadoom on the Crystal Maiden, PSTM on Enigma, and Pimpalicious playing the Leshrac. How would you pronounce the person playing Storm?
Kojiva, maybe? Or Kojiva?
Yeah, Kojiva. Alright, there we go. That's probably better than what I tried. Yeah, well, yeah, just go
just
for
wing
it. Right?
it.
Yeah, exactly. So we will have the Darkseer solo top. It's actually going to be Snaking playing it, not Aoi 2000. Aoi 2000, I guess, playing the Invoker. I assume that's a hero he's used to playing. I don't know. Because, I mean, yeah, you kind of have your standard Invoker player, and like it's always one guy, because it's such a specific skill set. Trading off wards here, Kabop and actually with the Leshrac here, Leshrac does have stun, which means they will not have quite enough damage. Nabaz is actually going to try to run over there and grab the double damage. He could try wind running up here, but they have no real vision up, so it'd just be too risky. But they both saw each other place the wards here, so we'll have to see which team is the first to counter ward. It's a little bit easier for the Radiant to counter ward there, so I would assume Sentry will be coming out from Kabop pretty soon here. Kabop actually shadowing the wind runner here just a little bit. Yeah, Windrunner with that double damage might actually have a chance to get 1 or 2 CS here before she gets forced back.
Yeah, and meanwhile, we're going to see CM and Storm Spirit top. Bottom lane, though, Windrunner coming in. Tidehunter is there for a gush if needed. Kabop coming around for a stun here, so we may see a potential first blood here, but we do have Windrun up on Windrunner first.
Yeah, she is going to try to come over and place a ward down here, most likely. Actually just going to try to trade a few of her last hits with that double damage. Now the stun is going to come out. Unfortunately, the Tide is not in a position to get a gush off just yet, and yeah, Navaz is going to intelligently enough gush or Windrun out of there before the Tide could come in and get a gush off potentially and lead to her death. So yeah, she does make it out of there safely, but she's going to have to run all the way back around. It doesn't really matter because she's not going to be going towards the creeps anyway. Furion is actually... Kizzle's doing basically what he did in the previous game that we watched bottom. He's going in the jungle as Furion, but he's actually not summoning his trees and really killing anything yet. I mean, he's done that once, but he's actually focusing more on pulling, and he does get a nice chain pull off here. He's actually created his trees just to make the path there. And with that chain pull, it's going to basically function the same as a stack, although Windrunner is actually going to be in here messing around with him. But he can put out a significant more right-click damage than she can at this point, because she knows that he has support nearby, and she can't really just stand and fight and pop the Windrun for the risk of just dying afterwards.
Yep, Tide getting solo experience right now. Probably going to rush up for his mana boots into the blink. So we're going to see maybe even a pipe that we've seen him go a couple times on that character.
Windrunner actually just barely made it out of there. Unfortunately, Furion does not have Sprout yet. If he did have Sprout, that would be a dead Windrunner. Actually, probably wouldn't be because she has Tangos, so never mind. But still putting a lot of pressure on her, and she has to run all the way back to base. Still doesn't really matter too much because she's not missing out on any experience, but it's good nonetheless. As well, the other lanes, Aoi 2000 7-2 versus Pimpalicious 8-2, so basically completely even in the middle. And the big problem for HelloMoto at this point is even though their Windrunner has gotten no experience, no gold, this Darkseer is already level 3.
Yep. And he's doing a very nice job holding back here, but we do see Enigma is over here to the right. We may see a gank come in here very soon, but he does have that surge. He's going to be able to get out in time if needed.
Yeah, Malif is extremely annoying to deal with when you have Surge. But he only has 1 point in Malif at this point, as he is only level 3, so...
coming in on mid. Oh, gonna cancel it, though.
Yeah, and... well, I don't know. Leshrac going for a Split Earth Edict build, I mean, pretty standard at this point. But means he's not really going to have a lot of counter push to stop that Furion, but I don't know, we'll have to see if... Potm Bottom's plan is really to push that much early, or if they're just going to, as predicted, kind of farm up quite a bit. Yeah, this Darkseer is such a pain to deal with, and actually should have. I mean, I assume he spent his gold. No, actually, it was just buying the Sage's Mask. So he's still a little ways off from actually getting that Soul Ring. So he will have mana problems actually pretty soon here if he keeps Iron Shelling these creeps. Oh, and actually gank in the mid. Furion TP's in, but the Leshrac does just eat a tree to get right out of it. That was his last tango though, and actually the Illusion almost taking out Aoi 2000 in the meantime.
Sneaking, trying to come in and do a little bit of harassment here on top of Crystal Maiden, but Crystal Maiden will get that Ice and Imprisonment on him, and Enigma coming over from the right side now, just going to be farming the neutral camp still.
Yeah, Enigma does have level 2 Malefice now, and with those 2 stuns, it will completely negate a Surge. But yeah, intelligently enough, Snaking has gone 2 levels in Surge, which will make it much easier for him to actually get out of here. They have actually him surrounded at this point, so we'll have to see if they do decide to go for him. Unfortunately, there aren't a lot of conversions, so they don't really have much damage. Crystal Maiden throwing out a freeze anyway. Oh, and actually, meanwhile, missed it. Leshrac does manage to pick up the Nature's Prophet in the woods. Meanwhile, Darkseer is actually turning around on Crystal Maiden here. He is going to try to get the kill with the Iron Shell before dying. Oh, surges over towards the Crystal Maiden. Crystal Maiden actually is going to salve up though, so she probably will live. Iron Shell, is it going to do enough damage? No, Snaking actually does manage to get the kill before he is himself going to go down in return. At some point here, I assume. Yeah, there we go.
Storm Spirit picking up the kill on Darkseer there.
So, I mean, generally speaking, trading Darkseer for Crystal Maiden, not worth it. However, when you're in the Sacrifice lane against a Tri lane, certainly worth it. Aoi 2000 actually going on Leshrac here. Throws out the Cold Snap. Furion is going to TP in. Will they be able to do enough damage? Taking some right clicks from the tower. Furion almost going to die to the tower. Unfortunately, Crystal Maiden just barely does not have enough to kill either of them, and this is then going to end up being a zero-sum game by both teams.
Yeah, I mean, they have the aggression here in mid, but just not. They have the TP support that came in there from HelloMoto. Very nice job being able to counteract any type of aggression there.
Yeah, so far HelloMoto has done a great job of making sure they had tangos up on all their heroes. However, they've basically eaten through all of them now, so this is the potential for Furion to start getting some ganks that are successful. I mean, he's been TPing around a lot and being very active, which has kind of shut down his farm quite a bit. And in return, it's basically turned into HelloMoto eating a lot of trees. So hopefully now that those trees are gone, they can actually, or the tangos are gone, they can actually manage some ganks with him. Like the Leshrac right now with no tangos in the mid, kind of a prime target.
Darkseer getting caught out of place here, uses the Surge, but will end up getting away. Came in there with the stun on Enigma, and as well as a grip there by Storm Spirit. John
he's actually... Yeah, he's going to run up instead. Those creeps will die soon, but Enigma, intelligently enough, just converts them out. Darkseer is going to try to run past now. He knows that they have no stuns. Crystal Maiden just barely out of range for the imprisonment, but the slow is going to be enough, and they are going to finish Snaking off. Snaking might have actually been able to make it out fine if he just run down initially when he was when he surged himself and was Maleficed. But instead he ran left of the trees and tried juking up, and that ended up costing him his life.
Yep, Leshrac coming top now. They will rotate to top here to push this tier 1 tower. And looks like it will go down because Darkseer is currently down, and looks like around the map no TCV support coming in right now, so tier 1 tower will fall. Leshrac getting the last hit there.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
The Edict just does way too much damage to tier 1 towers. Meanwhile, looks like Potm wants to set something up bottom. The Windrunner is maybe, yeah, she is going to go down actually. So nice job there by the Furion TPing in, finally a successful kill. Unfortunately, Tide taking a lot of damage from this tower. They are going to have to back out, and they are not going to get this tower in return. Meanwhile, HelloMoto continuing to push with this Leshrac Edict on top and some Enigma conversions. The tower is down to just over half health. Actually, just about between half health and 2/3 right now, but it's probably going to drop. It doesn't look like Darkseer is going to be able to do anything about this.
And this is something HelloMoto is known for. They're known for their very, very early pushing power, and we've seen it time and time again. And already tier 2 towers, 7 minutes in, top lane.
Yeah, that's... I mean, as Darkseer, that's not... a lot of heroes wouldn't mind that too much because now it's safer for them to farm all the way back by their base, but Darkseer's not one of those heroes because he's got Iron Shell and he's going to push the wave up anyway. Meanwhile, actually, though, there's a bit of action going in the bottom. Kind of all 3 of the Radiant heroes just running around. No Shackle Shot up for the Windrunner yet, though, so she can't really punish them for moving around in such a nonsense fashion. And yeah, she is just going to go back to farming. So now, I mean, for her, she can actually sit here and kind of farm a little bit easier now with that 1 tower down. But the Darkseer not doing that. He's already pushed it back up past the river. So HelloMoto basically has nothing to lose and a lot to gain by having taken both those towers.
Smoke gank, or Invis gank coming in here. Kebab going to be landing the stun here on Leshrac. Gush coming in as well. And last last hit will be the Tide Hunter TPing in for moral support is the the Nature's Prophet. But Nature's Prophet going to be going with the Midas here as well. Very early on, we see Mana Boots already up on the Tide. He has 46 creep kills. But meanwhile, top, Sneaky King getting engaged on. Drift coming in. Stun going to be coming down on top by the Enigma. And now just blocking the Darkseer. And will he be able to get away? No, he will not. Storm Spirit getting the last hit. And that's something I wanted to mention too, was 49 creep kills on Storm Spirit already. And 2 kills on heroes. And against the Darkseer, that's pretty impressive with the Ion Shells.
Yeah, it's pretty much thanks to that Enigma. I mean, the other reason that picking Enigma against Darkseer is so good isn't just because you prevent the other team from having the Enigma, but it's also because Malefice, as mentioned, is amazing against Darkseer, and Conversion is great against Darkseer too, because when he Ion Shells up creeps, you can just come in and instantly convert them and get rid of the Ion Shelled creep, which is pretty amazing. He has actually opted to go, he went the 3 points in Conversion, which makes sense because, as it turns out, getting 3 points in Conversion, 2 points in Malefice does do more damage, since the 3rd level in Malefice doesn't have an additional stun. But then chose to max Malefice afterwards with level 7 and 8, and now has the max level Malefice, which will give him 3 stuns and be extremely annoying against that Darkseer.
Yep, push coming in here yet again by HelloMoto. They're going to try, we do have Ravage up on the Tide Hunter coming in. Ravage is going to be hitting all 4 heroes. Black Hole is up for the Enigma here as well. And there's the Black Hole on top of all 4 heroes now. And a miss off there by the power shot.
Yeah, great Black Hole by the Enigma. Ooh, Storm actually is going to be jumping in though now, and now it is his turn. Gonna actually try to go on this Tide, which is not maybe the best choice ever. Tide extremely difficult, and another missed power shot from the Windrunner. Yeah, I mean, that first power shot did hit the BS, so I mean, I guess in theory you could, and Enigma just denies himself to a neutral. I guess that's fine, because he probably spent all his money first anyway. Windrunner gonna run out. But yeah, if the fact that the power shot only hit 1 hero meant that it did full damage to that hero, but if she'd hit at least 2 there, probably would have been able to get another kill. And then that second power shot completely missing the Tide, which could have potentially led to a Storm kill if it had hit.
Yeah, Potm was able to deny the pushing there of the mid tower. Bottom tower did get denied though. Storm Spirit coming in on top of Aoi 2000, but he will be able to get away. Storm Spirit coming in again, but nope, not going to be enough. Kabop there to help support this Invoker.
Yeah, the Wex Invoker just a little bit too fast. Stun coming out from Kabop on the Enigma, but that mech up already is just a little bit too much effective HP. Invoker actually going to go down to the Malefice from Enigma, and the Iron Shell is going to push back the Dire, at least until they convert another creep. So yeah, HelloMoto doing an amazing job of containing the Radiant so far, and the fact that they've taken 2 towers, denied one of their own, and are looking to pressure this mid-tier 1 tower even further once Leshrac gets back up here, which I assume he will do soon. It means that, Potm are going to have their work cut out for them, especially once that Storm finishes up a very early Bloodstone.
Yeah, we see the 3,500 gold difference right now in favor of HelloMoto. Experience still about the same. But that gold difference coming from the help here of Leshrac getting first blood on Nature's Prophet, as well as taking those 2 very quick towers top. And our mech already up here on Enigma.
Yeah, the mech has been really crucial in the last 2 fights. Great tornado there from the Invoker, but I had chosen not to follow it up with a Wex. I mean, with a EMP. Only has 4 points in Wex, so it wouldn't be a super effective EMP, although he still could have gone for it, but the tornado alone was able to push back the Dire there. It's really unfortunate for Potm the fact that they had a team fight with the Ravage, and it was an amazing Ravage too, and it wasn't enough for them to win. Unfortunately, that Black Hole was just a little bit too good, and that is the risk of going up against Enigma. Storm trading hits with his Tide here, but again, there's no real way that he's going to kill the Tide. Not really sure why he opted to use the Vortex. But I guess he has enough mana regen that he can get away with things like that. And yeah, meanwhile, now the Leshrac is going to look to set up something. Has max level stun, so pretty big AoE. Could hit something, but actually realizes with the 3 heroes there, I'd be better off just going somewhere else.
Yep, and Enigma already back up to 1,100 gold. Just bought Tom Portal, but we'll have either a BKB or Blink very soon here. And it looks like Nature's Prophet did finish his Midas. He just used it and will be farming up probably towards a Sheepstick.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't I kind of, actually, no time to talk, because he's actually going to be sprouting up CM. CM uses actually her last tango to eat through the tree. Meanwhile, Leshrac actually managed to pick up the Vengeful Spirit mid. Nice vacuum from the Darkseer, is able to catch the Crystal Maiden, so 1-for-1 trade in supports in different lanes. The only difference is that HelloMoto is again going to be able to turn theirs into something of a push unless Potm gets back to defend it, whereas HelloMoto is going to have a lot easier time defending Potm's push bottom.
Yeah, I mean, already Tide building up that, Tide's in here building up his, oh my god. Pipe, there you go. Couldn't think of it for a second. Yeah, he's almost finished up with his pipe now. Said he would do that earlier. We're seeing the Soul Ring still up here on Darkseer at the moment. Kebab doing what he can. He's 0, 2, and 3 at the moment, but he is warding and having the smoke and everything, putting up different ganks. And Storm Spirit looking like he's going to be almost finished up here with his Bloodstone very soon.
Yeah, the Tide actually had 2 gauntlets early on, so I was surprised that he didn't end up going Urn before well, maybe after the Arcane Boots before he finished the pipe, and especially given that the Furion has not opted for an Urn either, going for that Midas, which, as I was saying, I don't really mind Midas on Furion. I think, I mean, you know, it's kind of a Light of Heaven build, and who can argue with Light of Heaven? Yep. But at the same time, his farm was just so behind in this game that it's a pretty late Midas. I mean, so it'll let him catch back up in theory, but it's also meaning he's just less effective at this point. Invoker actually goes for a Tornado. Oh, and actually, the Nature's Prophet all bouncing through and is able to pick up the Windrunner kill. And Enigma trying to get some sort of a retaliation on the Invoker here, but is not actually going to get anything with it. And yeah, they're just going to both settle back in. But the Storm already does have that Bloodstone. It was a 14-minute Bloodstone, so that's pretty insane.
Especially after Boots.
Yeah.
And then we see just a Bloodstone rush, but he already has Boots and his Bloodstone now. Pot and Bottom look like they're trying to set up something here on Storm, though. Gushed, but not going to be able to follow up here with a Kebab swap.
Well, I was going to say, the standard is generally going for the Arcane Boots and turning that into the Bloodstone, so I mean, he would still have the Boots.
Yeah.
But anyway, CM denies the tower mid, so Pot and Bottom not even going to manage to take that. So far, Pot and Bottom has had 2 towers denied that they wanted to take, which kind of really sucks for them. And meanwhile, HelloMoto has actually taken 3 towers straight up. Storm Spirit being chased for a long way by all 3 of these heroes, throws up the Remnant, but it's actually not going to pop on anyone. No, then the Darkseer eventually does just trigger it. And Darkseer actually has a point booster already, so has not opted to go. I mean, he has the Tide going for Pipe, which is normally a standard Darkseer item. So he can kind of go for Aghanims, although I have to assume this is just an early point booster because it's an amazing item, and he will end up going something else first before actually going for an Aghanims.
Pot and Bottom trying to push top tower. Protection will come in onto the towers though, and looks like HelloMoto going to try to wrap around this other side here. Tide Ultimate is up at currently, as well as the Enigma Black Hole.
Let's see, the Storm Spirit is going to get stunned and actually nuke him down. We'll see if he decides to buy back. Big Ravage hitting 3 heroes again. Enigma is going to try to come back in for a big Black Hole this time, but not really having an opening. Vengeful Spirit is outside, will swap immediately. Vengeful Spirit does end up paying for it. No, actually, no, that's the Enigma who pays for it because they were swapped positions. And Pot and Bottom completely turning this fight around, 4 for 2 so far. Darkseer might be diving a little bit deep, but it's certainly worth it. Thinks about TPing out, but then realizes, no, I should probably surge. I'm going to die if I tank the tower. Storm does jump in, though, but an instant tornado from the Invoker pushes the Storm back. Storm is not quite done yet, though. Invoker will just Ghost Walk and get out of here, and Storm will be left to hunt for another target, who unfortunately has TP'd out. Kind of a poor choice by him, although I guess he just jumped in the direction he knew they would be running, and the only one who found was the Invoker.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely awesome to see these lower, like, unknown teams come in, like, I mean, HelloMoto and Potm both not really known too much in the community, but both are definitely very, very good teams, and to give them the chance to play in the $10,000 Invitational by qualifying in these open tournaments is definitely something awesome. And you see unknown teams really try to make a name for themselves in these smaller tournaments, and it gives them a chance to really get the attention and the public that they need.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they've Potm. Well, actually, there's a tornado coming out on the Storm, but the Storm should be able to jump out of here. Yeah, instantaneously jumps to one point and then the other. But yeah, I mean, it's really nice. It's always good to see new up-and-coming teams, and everyone just loves when a newer or slightly less heard of. I mean, yeah, Potm pretty well known in the North American scene, but given that the North American scene hasn't been very successful, maybe other than Complexity in recent times in Dota 2, it means that they're not really very known outside of there. And to have those teams kind of beat potentially bigger teams is really why a lot of people watch Dota, and very exciting to see.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to try to do a Roshan kill here. The boss did get the shackle there on top of Roshan. Storm Spirit coming in now. And looks like they will try to do this, but meanwhile, Potm not really reacting too much to it at the moment.
Yeah, this could be a really nice Roche steal, actually. The Vengeful Spirit is going to let our wave off, but it's not going to be in time. It actually just gives the Roche a little bit of extra negative armor to make them take it down that much faster. Kebab actually running in rather usually. Don't really know what he's doing there. Storm actually going to continue after the Darkseer gets a really long-range pull-off. Will the Leshrac stun come up? But a great tornado from the Invoker. Ice Imprisonment is enough, actually, to finish off the Darkseer, though, regardless. So 2 needless deaths. I mean, Vengeful Spirit had to see the debuff went on Roche. So she saw the health on Roche, and she had to know that there was really no reason for her to be running in there. I guess she's just kind of channeling her inner PGG, but didn't really work out.
Yeah. And we see Leshrac already going to be using up one of his drum charges there, but he has a great farm so far, 4, 3, and 3, and almost has 2,100 saved up at the moment.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that those kind of 2 deaths there, plus the Roche, just, I mean, well, it's dire advantage for you, I guess. But turning this game back around, because, well, it was kind of turned around by Potm after that fight top, but then basically completely given back towards HelloMoto with the kind of carelessness there, plus the fact that HelloMoto was just smart enough to go for a quick Roche steal. Haste on the Invoker, just kind of putting a little pressure on the Storm, wants to force him back and try to take this tower, but I don't think he'll try to put it into deny range. He's way out of his team's comfort zone here. Given that they have no top towers, it's really difficult for anyone to have gotten up there, and they really have to kind of telegraph that they're going to push that a long ways out.
Yeah, I mean, you got to give it to Aoi 2000. He has had really good tornadoes this game and was able to help his team out there at that rush just a little bit. It could have gone a lot worse for them. And almost, he's about 2,600 away from his sheepstick at the moment.
The EMP Tornado combo is going to burn a lot of Storm's mana here. They actually could potentially follow up on this. Invoker is just so fast, but Storm has way too much mana regen. He's going to get out. And this is actually another game we're seeing the Storm once again go treads after Bloodstone rather than going for travels. Although here, I mean, he doesn't quite have the same global presence heroes, so it makes it a little bit more sense. He doesn't have Chen to TP him back or anything like that. So a little bit more reasonable and understanding maybe that he just needs to come online sooner. Does have the Void Stone as well, so he will be going for a Hex in addition to the Invokers, but like you said, the Invokers is going to be much sooner.
Yeah. Tide Ravage is up at the moment, though.
Actually, I think Invoker will be going for Yule's, not Hex, now that I think about it, because I just saw that he actually has that Staff of Wizardry. So yeah, he'll be going for a max movement speed build, basically. Going to basically be hasted anytime he turns on Phase Boots. Anyway, pushing in on the Storm Spirit here, they are going to try to probably take another tower here. They have all grouped up and they have the Ravage, level 2, as well as the Pipe Up, which is going to be really big for them, because I do not believe there is a Pipe Up on the Dire anywhere. And no, there's not. And Enigma actually has started to go for the BKB. He's almost finished with it. Would love to have it by this fight, but is not going to. I mean, as long as Kebab does a good job with positioning, and I mean, after all, it is Kebab, you're probably not going to get a full BKB black hole off anyway. But maybe he's being optimistic, and I don't know. I mean, Blink is just pretty unreliable against any good team, especially with good tornadoes.
Yeah, meanwhile, Nature's Prophet's been farming down here at bottom. Has 99 creep kills already and just using that Midas on every cooldown he can. Looking at GPMs at the moment, we see 335 GPM for Nature's Prophet. And looks like we may see an engagement here in the middle if Windrunner gets caught out of place. But nope, just going to go back.
Yeah, Tide up to 1400 now. We'll have to see if he decides to go for kind of another team fight item in the sense of something like a Shiva's, or if he's going to go for his Blink now, which could be really big for them trying to get initiations off of a nice tornado. Invoker actually chasing in off of the Storm Spirit. Storm Spirit is going to have his mana burnt again. But again, just running out. Storm Spirit way too difficult to kill, and they've just HelloMoto been doing a great job having Storm Spirit in the difficult positions. Windrunner with an Invis Rune here can set up for a great shackle shot. Furion has TP'd in, and they just basically need some more team to rotate over here before this Invis Rune wears out, because if they can get an initiation off of a double shackle, that's going to be basically a one-team fight for them, regardless of what Potm can do.
Yeah, Invis about to wear off, though, so they need to do something quick if they're going to do it here. Looks like pings are coming in, no other TP support coming in. Nebius will have to run out as the Invis is wearing out. Is she going to be caught out in place here, though?
I don't know why. I really felt like her team could have gotten there faster, and they could have had something great there when you have such a great potential for an opening. But looks like they're going to go for it anyway. Jumping in on this Invoker, jumping back out. Unfortunately, the EMP burned a lot of mana. BKB Black Hole. Kebab is going to swap it, but a little bit of time before it expired. A nice Ravage from the Tide, hitting 4 heroes. Crystal Maiden instantly dead. Darkseer with a nice wall up, but basically both teams are just going to retreat with that wall kind of dividing the line. Still 2 kills for Potm Bottom. If you count the Aegis. Though Storm is apparently not done yet, although this looks like a little bit of overplay. I don't really know why they continue down there. Throwing Leshrak's life away. If this EMP hits, it could be very significant. Yeah, Enigma going to go down as well. Storm still just right-clicking heroes, but is actually going to get Yulesed here. I still imagine he can jump out. Deafening Blast, yeah, not going to hit him, so he's going to be fine. Actually, Furion thinking about TPing after him, but not really worth it. He can just break the trees as long as he has 100 mana, and they're going to content themselves with taking this tier 2 tower anyway. So a nice fight there by the Radiant, good Darkseer wall and good Ravage, as well as again Kebab just having great positioning not to allow that BKB black hole to get off is what basically won the team fight.
Yeah, exactly, and we saw 2 for nothing there, and tier 2 tower has gone down. And something to note recently is like HelloMoto, they took those really quick towers mid, or really quick towers top, and then we haven't seen them really go for push too much anymore. It's really felt like they've sat back and tried to farm up, and that's definitely not something you can do with the type of lineup that Potm Bottom has at the moment.
Yeah, the problem is just that Potm Bottom has such good turtling as well as kind of counter pushing and everything. Just with, I mean, you can't. It's so difficult to push into it when you know that the Tide Ravage is up. Really, I mean, this is the time where they're going to have to push right now. Now that they know that the Ravage is down for approximately another minute is what they've got to think at this point. They really have to do something, like you were saying, and get a push in while they know that those ults are down and they know that they can actually win a team fight on the other team's territory. And looks like, no, this is actually not a smoke gank, but the Storm is going to jump forward. But again, the Storm initiations just haven't really been successful for them. It was that kind of hero I was talking about, with a hero that goes in before everyone else, like the Night Stalker would have been, or like the Morphling. But here, the Storm just has not been successful, because meanwhile, I mean, they've kept the Storm far forward, but Potm Bottom have kept the
meanwhile bottom
2000.
Windrunner getting caught out of place, stun coming in by Kebab, and Nature's probably getting the last hit there.
Yeah, and so yeah, just keeping Aoi 2000, who's also almost impossible to kill in front. So yeah, both teams have been really good at playing kind of semi-passive and not letting any crucial heroes get exposed who are too easy to pick off, and that's just really been beneficial for Potm Bottom.
Yep. Kizzles has enough money now for the Mystic staff to finish up that.
Tornado landing on the Leshrac bottom. Leshrac is going to get back in. Cold Snap is up on a Furion TP's forward, and Leshrac is definitely going to die. Tries to get stun out, but isn't even going to manage to do that before he dies. Sorry, continue.
I was saying Enigma, or Nature's Prophet has enough for the Mystic staff now to put towards that Sheep Stick with the help of those 2 kills there.
Oh, and looks like they're actually chasing after the Crystal Maiden. Actually, using up the Enigma. Enigma could consider popping his BKB here if they group up too much, but unfortunately, 8 seconds left on his ult. I gotta really wonder there. I mean, Kebab, the way he was playing right next to the Enigma, he has to know the exact timing on that ultimate, because he actually could have all been caught in a black hole there if Kebab didn't know that. So I just have to assume that was the case, and he's just a much better person than I am. Oh, nice Shackle Shot, latching Furion into this Darkseer. See if they can pick off one. Storm Spirit is going to jump in. Yeah, it does stop Furion TP out, and he's actually going to continue after the Darkseer. Darkseer did use the Surge on Furion, so it will be down, but at the same time, Storm does not have his full, and yeah, vacuum. Oh, wow! Another Shackle Shot, but the EMP going to burn away everything Windrunner has, and Windrunner going to be in a lot of trouble now. Surge Tide coming straight at her. Even if this Tide doesn't look as badass as the one in the last game, it's still scary nonetheless.
Very nice job there by both team fights, as we see. Taking a look at experience, over 5,500 experience now in favor of Potm Bottom. Gold advantage in the lead, about 2,500 gold advantage for Potm Bottom as well.
Yeah, and the Tide ult is back up now, so they are going to push into this tier 2 tower and try to take it down. If they do, this will make it much easier for them to take the next Roche, with tier 2 towers down in the middle and bottom for the Dire. The Radiant can really actually have a chance to contest Roche just by running in there quickly and grabbing it without towers for the Dire to TP to. And yeah, it looks like it's going to go down uncontested. Tide actually is going to be in position to get another Ravage off. Enigma does BKB, and actually does catch Kebab this time, so it is going to be a full BKB Black Hole. Unfortunately, they don't have a lot of damage to follow it up with. The rest of the team not really here. Leshrac was, but where's the Windrunner? Where's the CM? All the way back in base, and Leshrac's going to go down. Enigma probably going down as well. Nice vacuum again. Yeah, Enigma is down, trying to pick off this Crystal Maiden as well. Windrunner, or Invoker is going to be up there. Windrunner dead as well, and that's a triple kill for the Invoker, +1 for the Tide. And just good coordination there, good play by the Enigma, but I mean, yeah, BKB.
This will be Rax here. I mean, there's 4 down unless they have buyback. I don't see Storm Spirit being able to hold all this off. Mech coming in there by the Darkseer as well. And this could be middle Rax.
Yeah, it most certainly will be. And just, yeah, again, amazing BKB reaction from the Enigma to pop it in response to the Ravage and get in a perfect position, but just without the team there to follow up, just wasn't effective. And yeah, just kind of poor coordination, unfortunately, but nice plays overall by Potm. Storm looks like he wants to jump back in, but no, he's just going to have to kill creeps, and this is going to give Potm a nice advantage going into the mid game here.
And Roshan just about to come back up, just now popped, so we may see a Roshan attempt here by the Radiant very soon.
Yeah, I don't see why not. They don't have Medallion or anything like that, but they do have level 4 wave on the Vengeful Spirit, so it should be pretty easy for them to take this quickly. And they've got 2 great wards, which are going to see the Dire if they come from the middle or the bottom. The Dire would have to smoke gank to Roche if they want to have a chance to defend this, but the problem is that they don't know, and actually placing down even a 3rd ward. Looks like the Crystal Maiden and Windrunner are going to get caught. Great Deafening Blast combo. Windrunner is not actually going to make it out of there alive, so 2 dead, and Invoker is going to Yules up the Enigma. Enigma going to get hexed immediately afterwards. Invoker actually right-clicking conversion for a second, but still manages to get the Enigma kill, so that is 3 down for the Dire. And I guess they're not even going to settle for Roche at this point. They're going to probably push in the bot and try to take another set of racks.
Yeah, and we see that push staff Hyperstone build yet again on Tidehunter. And it looks like they are going to take the bottom racks, just like you said, 3 down currently here for HelloMoto. This could be very deadly if they can't stop this.
Yeah, I really do love that Force Staff on Tide. It makes a lot of sense when you want to push, because when you're pushing, you want the Tide in the front lines, so you want him to be able to stand in there. And normally, if it actually looks like they're going to go ahead and swap on the Leshrac. 2 heroes getting grouped up again. Deafening Blast is just being amazing here. Leshrac and Crystal Maiden both down, Yulesing up the Windrunner. Not necessarily going to be able to kill her, but GG's going to come out nonetheless.
Alright, so we're going to go to game 2.
Yeah, so everyone, stay tuned. This is a best 2 out of 3, and we will be seeing Potm versus HelloMoto in the second game, and maybe HelloMoto will be able to turn this one around.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Your ignorance ensured your demise.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Your life, much like your
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen. Dire's ancient is under attack. Dire's ancient is under attack.
Fades.
as was meant.
Dire's ancient is under attack.